Hello there folks, my name is Spunks and I saw Zootopia 2 and it was great. Now I was very looking forward to this movie. I'm a big fan of the first one when it first came out. It was so fresh and new, definitely different for a Disney movie. The fact that it was able to talk about really mature topical themes while still being a fun, silly, talking animal movie. And I definitely feel like of the more recent films from Disney, specifically their animation house, this definitely suited a sequel the best, and thankfully the trailers all looked very promising. I thought the premise was interesting, the fact that they were going to expand the world to other species of animals, and the jokes looked really funny, and the movie looked really interesting, and I was hopeful that they would succeed in making a solid sequel. And fortunately they did. I found this was just as good as the original. I thought they succeeded in making a solid sequel to the first one. This really lived up to my expectations quite a bit. I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Starting with the obvious, the animation is gorgeous in this movie. I've always loved the designs of the animals and just the city of Zootopia, and that is definitely expanded upon. In this one, we get to see a lot more variety of animals in this movie, a lot more different species, especially considering that this one's more focused on reptiles, and we see a lot of creative, unique, fun designs with them, and also get to explore a lot of fun, unique locations all around the city that we didn't get to see in the first one, and they're all really well designed and fun locations to enter and explore. And honestly, if they turn it into like a theme park, which I obviously think they will, I think it's even in Shanghai that they do it, I would love to visit that, honestly, because I loved and enjoyed these locations that much. And what I noticed about this one in regards to the first one is that it utilizes a lot more squash and stretch, and certainly is a lot more expressive and fluid in the movement. It definitely gets a bit more exaggerated, not to the point where it's obnoxious or annoying, but certainly like when it wants to be comedic or for the chase and action sequences, the animation is definitely a lot more expressive and fast, and the movements are a lot more utilizing the squash and stretch than the first one, which I think benefited it a lot, because it leads to some really not just hilarious moments with the visual gags, but also some really fun and exciting chase sequences. There are a number of them in this movie, and while they are chaotic, they're the fun chaotic where you're just along for the ride and enjoying how fast and energetic they can be. Another thing that separates this from the first film in a positive way is that this one is a lot less message focused and a lot more story focused. Now what I mean is that it doesn't mean that the first film's message was bad or the movie shouldn't have any like mature themes or messages in this kids movie. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this movie's focused much more on the story and the characters than the message. And I think that really benefits the movie because it makes you get to explore the characters a bit more and be more invested in the actual case. And the case here is actually really engaging and exciting to follow. It leads to some big reveals and even some topics that I was kind of surprised that they let them sneak in here. It leads to, again, some more mature themes and issues the movie talks about, and I think it executes it very well, especially for a kids movie. And obviously it has another strong message here. I won't get into it too much because it does dive deep into spoiler territory, but I will say it's another message that is kind of topical, and I think the filmmakers definitely handled it and executed it very well. It doesn't feel forced or shoehorned in. It actually felt very mature and honest about the topics and themes it discusses, and I think, again, for a kids movie, it was executed really well. It never felt like it was talking down to the audience. The characters in here are also really likable. We get to see more of Nick and Judy working together as a team, and their relationship gets expanded upon. You get to see their ups and downs throughout the film, and I think it handles that very well. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, heading back to square one with the characters. It actually feels like they've expanded upon their relationship, and they have such a fun and enjoyable dynamic. They play off of each other very well, and you just love seeing them together. The new characters here are a ton of fun, and some of them you don't expect to love as much as you do. Like there's this beaver in the movie who you think is just going to be the annoying sidekick, but she's actually pretty useful and very, very funny. Fortune Feimeister, I hope that's how you pronounce the name. I apologize if I mispronounced it, but she was very, very funny and has some of the best jokes in the film. Patrick Warburton plays the mayor, and he's also a delight to see. He's always delightful, but here he's used very well, and I like what they do with this character. And then you have Gary the Snake, who I was surprised they didn't use as much as I thought they would in the first film, but when they utilize him, it actually leads to some of the most sweeter and more touching emotional moments here. There's actually even a reveal with one of the characters that I was kind of surprised by, because the first movie's reveal was very obvious and it kind of bogged the movie down. But here it actually benefited the movie, and again, I did not expect that reveal to happen with that character. And lastly, this movie is hilarious. I think it's even funnier than the first one. There are so many gags thrown out here. There's one-liners, animal puns, visual gags, slapstick gags, in an almost Lego movie sort of way, where there's just so many gags and jokes going on all at once, where you may be laughing at one, but you might miss another one, but it's okay. There's another great gag following up shortly after. There's just so many great jokes that had me laughing all throughout the film. It is really, really funny. If I do have one issue with this movie, however, it's that I feel like there may have been too many characters. I'm not saying like it's like a Despicable Me or Ice Age scenario where like it has a bunch of side plots and characters, yada yada yada. I just feel like there's so many characters involved with this one case that there was a portion in the movie where it gets a little too chaotic and mumbled with how many characters it's focusing on. And again, I think because of how many characters this movie has involved in this one case, some characters get a bit underutilized. Again, I thought they would utilize Gary the Snake a bit more, so I think they just needed to tone down the chaoticness of it during this portion of the movie. It does find its flow back with the later half of the movie, but definitely there's a bit unfocusedness in the middle involving some of the characters here, and it kind of makes some of them feel a bit underutilized, if you know what I mean. But still, I found this to be another solid case for Nick and Judy to solve. This was a really solid sequel to the first one. I think the animation was gorgeous. It's very, very funny. The story and message were great, and the characters, despite them being maybe too many of them, were still really likable and charming to follow. If you're a fan of the first film, this is a big recommendation from me. Again, I think it's a worthy successor to the first one. I don't think it's better, but I do think it's at least on par. And if you're like me and you saw all the trailers and you thought we're really interested and just wanted to see more adventures with Nick and Judy, again, high recommendation for me. This is a fun family film to take the kids to the theater with. I can't recommend this enough. I thoroughly enjoyed Zootopia 2. So those are my thoughts on Zootopia 2. What did you all think of it if you've seen it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.
Credit cards max, look at this sales tax. I want more.